Before memory fades or eyesight dims, something even more vital begins to fail first: your legs. Long before the first prescription bottle appears on your counter, your body is already sending quiet warnings. And it starts with strength. More specifically, the strength in your lower body. What most people don't realize is that the first true signal of aging and functional decline begins not in the mind, but in the legs. The weakening of your legs is not a cosmetic issue. It's not just about muscle tone or appearance. It's a clinical red flag, a biological siren that your body is losing its resilience. The muscles in your legs are the largest in your entire body. Your quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and calves together make up the foundation of movement, balance, and circulation. When they weaken, it's not just about difficulty standing up or walking stairs. It marks the beginning of a downward spiral. Reduced metabolism, slower blood flow, joint instability, and a greater risk of falls. And what's even more troubling is that this muscle loss can begin as early as your 30s and 40s, accelerating with each decade. By the time you reach your 60s or 70s, you may have lost up to 30 to 40% of your muscle mass, most of it from your legs. This condition is called sarcopenia. It's not just a natural part of aging. It's a disease of neglect. And unlike gray hair or wrinkles, it's reversible, but only if you act with intention. The legs are metabolically active tissue. They burn more calories, regulate more hormones, and support more blood flow than almost any other region of the body. They are also deeply connected to your nervous system. When your leg strength diminishes, so does your mobility, your confidence, and eventually your independence. This is why hospitals use gait speed and leg strength as predictors of life expectancy. The slower and weaker your legs become, the more vulnerable your entire body becomes. But here is where it turns around. Leg strength doesn't just depend on exercise. It depends on what you feed your muscles, your joints, your blood vessels, and your nerves. Because just as inactivity causes them to fade, nourishment can bring them back to life. The right foods can repair micro tears in muscle fibers, rebuild collagen in joints, and even reactivate blood flow where it's been compromised for years. You don't need powders, injections, or gym memberships. You need targeted, powerful nutrition that reaches the body where it needs it most. Your legs. Food is not passive. It's a biological messenger. The moment it enters your body, it begins to send signals. To reduce inflammation, to build new tissue, to regulate your hormones, and to protect your mitochondria. And when you give your body the right foods at the right time, it doesn't just maintain your leg strength, it multiplies it. Your legs are not failing you. They're simply waiting to be nourished. The problem isn't aging. The problem is undernourishment and misunderstanding. You don't need to be younger. You need to be wiser with what you put on your plate. Today, we explore 6 powerful foods, each one scientifically shown to support leg strength, reduce inflammation, and promote the hormonal signals that preserve muscle and protect your independence. These aren't superfoods, they're survival foods. Because the truth is this: the quality of your legs determines the quality of your life. And now you have a chance to eat in a way that supports both. Your legs bear the entire weight of your body. They carry you through every room, every hallway, every step of your life. And yet, they are also the first to suffer in silence when the body begins to falter. Why do the legs weaken before anything else? The answer lies in how your body allocates its resources and how modern life deprives your lower body of the signals it needs to remain strong. The muscles in your legs require constant activation to stay healthy. They thrive on resistance, blood flow, and nutrient delivery. But in today's sedentary routines, we sit for hours at desks, on couches, in cars. The signal that once told your body to build and preserve leg muscle is replaced with silence, and the body responds accordingly. It begins to break down muscle fibers it no longer thinks you need. Blood vessels constrict. Nerve connections fade. Mitochondria slow. This is not aging. It's biological adaptation to stillness. On top of this, hormonal changes accelerate the problem. As you age, your testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone levels begin to drop. These hormones aren't just related to energy or mood. They directly control how well your body builds and repairs muscle. At the same time, cortisol, the stress hormone, begins to rise more easily and stay elevated longer. Chronic cortisol suppresses muscle protein synthesis and promotes fat accumulation in place of strength. And where does it show up first? The legs. There's another layer. As circulation decreases to the lower extremities, oxygen and nutrients can no longer reach your muscles efficiently. This leads to a condition known as chronic ischemia, starvation of muscle cells. It's why so many people over 60 begin to complain of heavy legs, slow walking, and a fear of stairs. It's not because they've aged beyond recovery. It's because the supply chain has been disrupted. But here's the encouraging truth. Muscle is one of the most metabolically adaptable tissues in the human body. You can rebuild it. You can restore blood flow. You can reverse sarcopenia. And you can do it naturally, starting with food. When you nourish your body with nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory, blood-oxygenating foods, the results are profound. You reduce oxidative stress in your leg muscles. You rebuild protein chains necessary for contraction and stability. You enhance nerve signaling that improves coordination. And you reignite mitochondrial energy that powers every step you take. Your legs aren't aging too fast or being ignored too long, but the solution is already in your kitchen. Because just as food can damage, it can also deliver protein, deliver circulation, deliver restoration. In the next section, we begin our journey through 6 foods. Each one selected not because it's trendy, but because it speaks directly to the needs of your legs. Foods that heal, that strengthen, that empower. If there is a root that grows deep in the soil, rich in color, and even richer in power, a food that doesn't just nourish, but transforms, that food is the beet. And if your legs feel heavy, cold, tired, or slow, this is the food your body may be quietly pleading for. Beets are one of the most scientifically studied natural vasodilators in the plant kingdom. They are rich in dietary nitrates, compounds that convert into nitric oxide inside the body. Nitric oxide is a biological signal, a messenger molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and open. When that happens, blood flow increases, and when blood flow increases, your legs wake up. Poor circulation is one of the silent saboteurs of leg strength. Without enough oxygen-rich blood reaching the lower extremities, muscles fatigue faster, nerve signals weaken, and joints grow stiff. It's why so many people describe their legs as sluggish or numb, without any clear diagnosis. The vessels are constricted. The supply chain is bottlenecked. Beets, by increasing nitric oxide, restore that flow. But the benefit goes deeper than just circulation. Better blood flow means better delivery of oxygen, amino acids, glucose, and micronutrients to your leg muscles. It means faster recovery after walking, less soreness after climbing stairs, and more stamina when standing. In clinical trials, beetroot juice has been shown to improve walking distance in patients with peripheral artery disease, a condition where clogged vessels starve the legs of blood. In healthy older adults, beets have been shown to improve gait speed, balance, and even mitochondrial efficiency. At the cellular level, beets help restore the machinery that powers your legs. They enhance ATP production, the molecule your muscles burn for energy. With more ATP, each step becomes easier, each movement more fluid. This isn't temporary stimulation, it's a biological recalibration. Beets also lower inflammation. Their deep red pigment comes from betalains, natural antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress in the muscles and joints. If your legs ache in the cold, swell after standing, or tighten without reason, these are signs of inflammatory stagnation, and beets help clear the path. There's also a hormonal benefit. Nitric oxide has been shown to indirectly support testosterone and estrogen balance by improving vascular function. In men, this supports muscle tone and performance. In women, it aids in circulation to the joints and pelvic floor. For both, it supports better sleep, sharper cognition, and more consistent energy, all of which contribute to stronger, more responsive legs. How you consume beets matters. Raw or roasted beets retain most of their nitrates. Beet juice is powerful but concentrated. Small amounts go a long way. Powdered beetroot, often found in functional nutrition products, offers a convenient way to boost nitric oxide daily. Even pickled beets carry some benefits, but beware of added sugars and preservatives. Pairing beets with vitamin C-rich foods like lemon or oranges can enhance nitrate absorption, and combining them with leafy greens like arugula or spinach can amplify their effects. This is not folk wisdom. It's clinical biochemistry rooted in nature's design. So when you think of beets, don't just think of color. Think of current, of flow returning to where it's needed most. Think of warmth in cold feet, of power in tired legs, of life in places that felt numb. The next time your legs feel heavy or your steps feel slow, remember this. Strength is not always about muscle. It's about delivery. And beets are the food that delivers. In a silent war against aging, few things work as swiftly and thoroughly as chronic inflammation. It eats away at muscle fibers, stiffens joints, weakens circulation, and distorts hormone balance. And where does it strike first and hardest? The legs. Yet nature once again provides its own remedy, found not in a pharmacy, but in the sea. Sardines and their larger cousins like wild salmon are some of the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods known to science. Small but mighty, Sardines are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, essential fats that the human body cannot produce on its own. These molecules do more than lubricate joints or support heart health. They actively enter your cells and turn off inflammatory genes. They signal to your immune system: stand down, repair, rebuild. Inflammation in the legs often hides behind common symptoms: aching knees, restless calves, sore thighs, or even a burning sensation after walking. It might be labeled as arthritis, overuse, or simply getting older. But the true issue is almost always deeper. Inflammatory mediators begin to accumulate in the tissues, restricting mobility and disrupting mitochondrial energy production. Omega-3s help clear these chemical messengers, allowing muscles and joints to return to their natural state of fluidity. Sardines are also an exceptional source of vitamin D, a hormone-like nutrient essential for calcium absorption, muscle function, and bone density. Most people over 50 are chronically deficient in vitamin D, which weakens not just bones, but leg power itself. Without enough of it, your muscles cannot contract efficiently. This leads to instability, trembling, and even falls. Sardines, with their edible bones, also offer a unique combination of bioavailable calcium and vitamin D, making them a complete package for leg strength and skeletal protection. Then there's the protein. Every movement, every step, every squat begins with muscle fibers, and muscle fibers are built from amino acids. Sardines and salmon offer complete protein profiles, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids needed to rebuild and repair muscle tissue. But unlike red meat, they do so without promoting excess acidity or inflammation. This makes them uniquely suited to those recovering from muscle loss, surgery, or hormonal shifts. For those concerned about hormones, and you should be, fatty fish support more than just physical strength. The fats found in sardines help regulate insulin, lower cortisol, and support the production of sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone. This hormonal support translates into more stable energy, better sleep, and stronger responses to strength training or walking routines. In other words, the very hormones that protect your muscle mass are nourished directly by the fats in these fish. Wild-caught salmon offers similar benefits with an extra boost of astaxanthin, a marine antioxidant that fights oxidative stress in the mitochondria. This is especially important in leg muscles, which contain high levels of type 1 fibers that rely on oxygen. When oxidative stress is high, fatigue follows. When it's controlled, endurance returns. Don't be misled by the size of the sardine. Inside this small fish is a library of nutrients designed to protect you: muscle, bone, blood, and brain. Whether fresh, canned in olive oil, or grilled with herbs, they are one of nature's most efficient healing foods. If you're looking to walk farther, stand longer, or climb stairs without pain, this is not just a suggestion, it's a prescription. Sardines are not just food, they are protection. They are strength in edible form. There's a mineral most people don't think about until their legs start cramping in the middle of the night, until their calves tighten after a walk, until their feet twitch without reason. That mineral is magnesium, and it's hiding in a food so small, so unassuming, most people sweep it off their plate without a thought: the pumpkin seed. But don't let its size deceive you. Pumpkin seeds, also known as pepitas, are among the most magnesium-rich foods on Earth. And magnesium is the silent conductor of muscular strength, nerve health, and energy production. When magnesium is deficient, muscles stiffen, signals misfire, legs fatigue faster, recovery slows, and sleep, your deepest opportunity for repair, becomes shallow and fragmented. The legs require more magnesium than almost any other part of the body. Why? Because they're in constant motion, holding up the weight of your frame, adjusting your posture, and firing the largest muscle groups. Every step, every contraction, every balance correction relies on magnesium to regulate calcium and potassium within the muscle cells. It is the mineral of motion, and when you're low, your legs will let you know. Pumpkin seeds are not just high in magnesium. They deliver it in a form the body can actually absorb. Just one handful provides nearly 40% of your daily requirement. And it's not just about avoiding cramps. Magnesium helps relax blood vessels, improving circulation to your extremities. It lowers blood pressure, supports glucose metabolism, and enhances insulin sensitivity, key factors in preserving leg endurance and strength. But there's more. Magnesium also plays a critical role in modulating the stress response. High cortisol, the stress hormone, drains magnesium stores rapidly. When you're under chronic stress or sleeping poorly, your body begins to leak this mineral like a punctured vessel. The result? You wake with tightness in your hamstrings, stiffness in your ankles, heaviness in your thighs, and no amount of stretching seems to help. Pumpkin seeds offer a solution that's both nutritional and hormonal. They help refill your magnesium stores while providing healthy fats and tryptophan, an amino acid that helps boost serotonin and promote restful sleep. Better sleep equals better recovery. And better recovery equals stronger, more stable legs. These seeds also contain zinc, another trace mineral often overlooked, but essential for testosterone production and immune health. In men, low zinc levels correlate with reduced leg strength and slower muscle repair. In women, zinc supports estrogen balance and prevents bone demineralization, particularly in the hips and lower body. And don't forget the fiber. Pumpkin seeds contain both soluble and insoluble fibers, supporting gut health and blood sugar control. When your blood sugar is stable, your energy doesn't crash mid-afternoon, and your legs don't suddenly feel like lead. It's a whole-body feedback loop. And it starts with what you eat. How do you add them to your routine? It's simple. A tablespoon on your morning oats, a sprinkle in your salad, ground into smoothies, roasted as an evening snack. Unlike supplements, whole pumpkin seeds deliver these nutrients in perfect synergy. Magnesium alongside zinc, healthy fats with protein, amino acids with fiber, nothing isolated, nothing artificial, just the way nature intended. If your legs are sending you signals, cramping, tightening, tiring, it may not be weakness, it may be depletion. And pumpkin seeds are nature's reply. Not loud, not flashy, but deeply effective. Strength doesn't always come from what you lift. Sometimes it comes from what you replenish. And magnesium is the first mineral to go missing when life becomes heavy. Pumpkin seeds bring it back, one handful at a time. In the vast world of superfoods, lentils are often overshadowed by flashier names. But when it comes to rebuilding leg strength, supporting blood flow, and preserving muscle as we age, few foods are more deserving of attention. The leg muscles thrive on nourishment that sustains energy, supports red blood cell formation, and builds structural resilience. And lentils do all three, quietly, effectively, and completely. Lentils are a plant-based powerhouse packed with complex carbohydrates, iron, zinc, and protein. They offer the foundational materials your muscles need to function and repair. For anyone who experiences leg fatigue during the day or whose muscles feel weak after minor exertion, this is often not just a symptom of aging, it's a sign of anemia or nutrient depletion. And lentils address that at the root. Iron is a critical component of hemoglobin, the protein in your red blood cells that carries oxygen from your lungs to your tissues. When iron is low, oxygen delivery suffers. And because your legs are the furthest point from your heart, they're often the first to feel it. Heavy thighs, cold feet, breathless steps. These are not just circulatory issues, they're nutritional alerts. Lentils, especially when paired with vitamin C-rich foods, offer a plant-based form of iron that supports oxygenation and reduces that lead-in-leg sensation that so many people over 50 begin to describe. But lentils are not just about iron. They also provide zinc, a mineral essential for cellular repair, immune defense, and testosterone balance. While often associated with the common cold, zinc plays a central role in muscle synthesis and hormonal recovery. In seniors, zinc deficiencies are associated with frailty, poor wound healing, and reduced physical endurance. Lentils supply a steady plant-based dose that supports leg regeneration without spiking blood sugar or stressing digestion. And then there's the protein. 1 cup of cooked lentils provides roughly 18 grams of high-quality plant-based protein. That's more than enough to support post-exercise recovery or to rebuild weakened muscle fibers throughout the day. Unlike animal protein, lentils come with fiber, soluble and insoluble, which supports healthy digestion, improves blood sugar control, and feeds the beneficial gut bacteria that play a hidden but powerful role in muscle metabolism and inflammation control. The fiber also slows glucose absorption, preventing energy crashes and insulin spikes that can weaken your legs during the day. If you've ever felt strong in the morning, but drained by mid-afternoon, that may not be about exertion, it may be about blood sugar. Lentils stabilize this with every bite, creating a sustained energy release that your legs can rely on. From a hormonal perspective, lentils help regulate estrogen metabolism. In women, this is critical for preserving bone density in the hips and legs, especially after menopause. In men, lentils support insulin sensitivity and help reduce the conversion of testosterone to estrogen, a common issue with aging that leads to muscle loss and fat gain in the lower body. Cooked with garlic, turmeric, or cumin, lentils become even more healing, combining protein with anti-inflammatory and circulatory support. Whether in soups, stews, salads, or side dishes, they are as versatile as they are powerful. In many traditional cultures, lentils have been a staple food for centuries, not because they were trendy, but because they were reliable. They fed muscle. They supported energy. They kept people walking, lifting, and thriving well into old age. So, if you feel your strength slipping, or if you simply want to preserve what you still have, know this. It doesn't require meat. It doesn't require supplements. And it certainly doesn't require perfection. It just requires consistency. And a bowl of lentils is one of the most consistent allies your legs could ever ask for. If your joints feel stiff when you wake up, if your legs feel dry, heavy, or tight, if your energy disappears without warning, there may be something missing from your plate that your body can no longer produce on its own. Balance. And one of the most potent restorers of that balance is not found in a bottle or prescription. It's found in the soft green flesh of the avocado. Avocados are not just trendy, they are profoundly medicinal. They are loaded with monounsaturated fats, the kind that lubricates your joints, protects your nerves, and helps build the very hormones that keep your legs strong and coordinated. After the age of 50, the body's natural production of key hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone begins to slow. And the enzymes that convert cholesterol into these hormones rely heavily on fat. But not just any fat. The kind found in avocados. When you feed your body healthy fats, you're not just fueling it, you're informing it. You're telling it to build rather than break down, to repair rather than retreat. These fats are the raw material for steroid hormone production, which directly affects muscle preservation, bone density, and emotional stability. And it all shows up in your legs. Think of it this way. Without sufficient hormone production, your muscles atrophy, your joints dry out, your bones become porous, and your coordination suffers. This doesn't happen overnight. It happens silently, gradually, and then all at once. But when you bring in the right nutrients, like the healthy fats and fat-soluble vitamins found in avocado, you begin to slow and, in many cases, reverse that process. Avocados are also rich in potassium, more than bananas, and potassium is essential for muscle contractions, hydration, and nerve communication. Low potassium often shows up as leg cramps, muscle twitches, or unexplained fatigue after walking. Especially in the elderly, potassium deficiency is a hidden cause of weakness, and avocados restore it naturally and gently. But the benefits go even further. Avocados are high in antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which don't just protect the eyes, they reduce oxidative stress in the blood vessels that feed your legs. That means better circulation, lower inflammation, and more efficient delivery of oxygen and nutrients where they're needed most. This is critical for preventing the sluggish, tired feeling that makes the legs feel like they're moving through sand. There's also a gut connection. Avocados are rich in soluble fiber, essential for maintaining a healthy gut microbiome. And that matters because your gut bacteria influence everything from estrogen metabolism to immune response to inflammation regulation. A healthier gut means fewer inflammatory compounds circulating through your joints and muscles. It means less stiffness, better energy, and stronger responses to exercise. Unlike processed oils or artificial fats, avocados work in synergy with your body. They don't clog, they clear. They don't suppress, they support. And they offer a creamy, satisfying alternative to the dry, brittle feeling that often creeps into aging limbs. Avocados can be eaten sliced on toast, blended into smoothies, added to salads, or even simply enjoyed with a pinch of sea salt. However you choose to consume them, understand this. Each bite is a signal, a message to your endocrine system that nourishment is present, that recovery is possible, that strength is still within reach, your legs don't just need protein. They need lubrication. They need the hormonal support that lets every tendon glide, every muscle fiber fire, every joint remain supple. Avocados offer that support in a form that is as healing as it is satisfying. So the next time you slice into an avocado, know that you're not just making a meal, you're making medicine. And your legs, aching, stiff, or tired, may thank you for it with every step you take. There is a moment each evening when the body whispers for rest, for quiet, for repair. But in many aging bodies, that whisper is drowned out by inflammation, by stress, by overstimulated nerves and exhausted muscles. And nowhere does that tension accumulate more than in the legs. The legs, having carried the weight of the day, often ache into the night. But there is a food, small, sour, and crimson red, that speaks directly to this exhaustion. That food is the tart cherry. Tart cherries are among the most powerful natural recovery agents in nutritional science. They contain anthocyanins, deep red, purple plant compounds that reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in muscle tissue. For people who experience leg soreness after walking, stiffness in the morning, or persistent pain in the knees or calves, tart cherries can serve as a nightly elixir for repair. What sets tart cherries apart is their dual action. First, they act as a natural anti-inflammatory. Clinical studies have shown that tart cherry juice reduces levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a key marker of systemic inflammation, particularly in muscles stressed by movement or weight-bearing. Athletes consume tart cherry extract after intense training for this very reason. It helps reduce late-onset muscle soreness. But for aging adults, the benefit is even more profound because as we age, even normal daily movement, climbing stairs, walking to the store, rising from a chair, can trigger inflammatory flare-ups in the legs. Tart cherries calm this storm. Second, tart cherries are one of the only known foods that naturally contain melatonin, the hormone that governs your sleep cycle. Unlike synthetic melatonin supplements that can disrupt the body's rhythm over time, tart cherries deliver this sleep-supportive compound in a balanced, bioavailable form. This is critical because true muscular recovery happens during deep sleep. It is during the night that your body repairs damaged fibers, restores glycogen stores, and flushes out cellular waste from overworked tissues. If you're not sleeping well, your legs are not healing well. Many seniors experience a vicious cycle. Poor sleep leads to poor recovery, which leads to more pain and inflammation, which then worsens sleep. Tart cherries break this cycle by reducing pain and supporting melatonin production. They usher the body into deeper restoration, deeper restoration. Beyond muscle recovery, tart cherries also support cardiovascular health. They improve blood lipid profiles, support arterial flexibility, and aid in circulation. For the legs, this means more oxygen, more nutrients, and less pooling of blood in the feet and ankles. If you experience swelling in the lower legs or feel pressure after long periods of standing, this is often a circulatory symptom. Tart cherries help lighten the load. Their antioxidant load also protects against mitochondrial damage. This is key because mitochondria are the engines of your muscle cells. When they falter, fatigue sets in, especially in the large, oxygen-hungry muscles of the legs. Tart cherries preserve these engines, helping you move with greater ease and less resistance. They're best consumed about 1 to 2 hours before bed, either as unsweetened tart cherry juice, freeze-dried powder, or fresh or frozen whole fruits. A small serving is enough. It's not the quantity that matters. It's the timing and the quality of the signal. The legs do not ask for much. Just circulation, just rest, just recovery. And tart cherries deliver all three in a form that is gentle, nourishing, and precise. They don't stimulate, they soothe. They don't force healing, they invite it. In a world that pushes for more, louder, faster, tart cherries offer the opposite. A quiet return to balance, a natural invitation to slow down, repair, and prepare for the strength you'll need again tomorrow. We often eat to satisfy hunger, to quiet a craving, to follow a habit. But what if food wasn't just fuel or flavor, but instruction? What if with each bite we were telling our bodies how to perform, how to repair, how to age? When it comes to your legs, those faithful engines that carry the weight of your years, what you eat is not just background, it is the command center for strength, balance, and survival. Leg weakness doesn't begin with age, it begins with neglect of nutrients, of rest, of circulation. The legs are the first to weaken because they require the most energy, the most blood flow, the most structural integrity. And without targeted nutrition, they are the first to falter. But this script isn't one of decline, it's one of possibility. The 6 foods we've explored, beets, sardines, pumpkin seeds, lentils, avocados, and tart cherries, aren't trends. They are nature's strategy for muscle preservation, hormonal support, inflammation control, and circulatory restoration. Each one speaks to a different system. Together, they orchestrate recovery and renewal at the deepest level. Beets open the blood vessels, delivering oxygen to tired muscles. Sardines coat inflamed joints with healing fats and feed the hormones that keep legs agile. Pumpkin seeds restore magnesium, calming overfired nerves and preventing spasms. Lentils build red blood cells and feed muscle fibers with clean, sustainable energy. Avocados rebalance the hormones and hydrate the joints. Tart cherries soothe inflammation and summon deep, uninterrupted sleep, the environment where real healing happens. You don't need to memorize complicated regimens. You don't need to live in the gym or count every gram. You need to eat with intention. Eat to restore, not just to fill. Eat to move, not just to sit. Eat as if your legs depended on it, because they do. This is not about dieting. This is about alignment. Aligning what you eat with what your body truly needs. Muscle, oxygen, circulation, recovery. Not once a year. Not when the pain becomes unbearable. Every day, quietly, consistently, deliberately. Every bite you take is either contributing to strength or quietly stealing it away. Every meal is a chance to rebuild the very tissue that supports your next step. And as you age, it becomes less about volume and more about precision. The right foods, the right signals, the right response. Mobility is not just movement, it is freedom. The freedom to walk without fear, to rise without assistance, to live with dignity, and that freedom begins on your plate. If you remember anything, let it be this: you are not powerless. You are not past the point of healing. Your body listens. It responds. It rebuilds when given the right tools. And food is the most powerful tool you will ever wield. So eat not to survive, but to strengthen. Eat not to stay the same, but to evolve. Eat not as a reaction to weakness, but as a declaration of resilience. Because your legs are not simply limbs, they are lifelines. They carry your history, and if nourished well, they will carry your future. Now is the time to make food your ally, to move with purpose, to eat with clarity, and to reclaim the strength that has always been yours. This is how you rise. One meal at a time, one step at a time.